I've reported over several videos on the channel about the following cretins. These were two constables who were in the same WhatsApp group as the Metropolitan Police's new poster boy, Couzens. I say new poster boy because seeing as more than likely most of them are as cretinous as Couzens, having recently found that thousands were recruited when they shouldn't have been, I think Wayne's probably the perfect face for their new recruitment campaign. 45-year-old Metropolitan Police Constable Joel Borders and 35-year-old Jonathon Cobbon both have the Cobbon now after being found guilty at Westminster Magistrates Court today. Cobbon and Borders were both jailed for 12 weeks for sharing racist, misogynistic and obscene messages in the WhatsApp group, including joking about tasering children and people with disabilities. Now, I've got to be fair here and say that some of what these two have said I wouldn't find offensive if it was taken as comedy. For example, I tell my friend when they have an epileptic fit to get their son to call me so I can rush around with my washing, and I'll chuck the washing in the bath with them with some washing powder and it will save me some money. In fact, I've probably heard and repeated worse than some of what these two have said, but that was in the right context, around people who I know would know it was me being funny, and it was done in person so as not to be mistaken for me being serious. Also, I don't have a job where these kind of comments could look really, really bad. Anyway, both Cobbon and Borders were found guilty of posting grossly racist, sexist and misogynistic messages in the WhatsApp group called Bottle and Stoppers, rhyming slang for coppers. Head of the Crown Prosecution Service's Special Crime Division, Rosemary Ainsley, said it is incomprehensible that serving police officers could think it was right to share these kinds of grossly offensive messages with others. By these verdicts, the court has agreed that they were not just shocking or disturbing banter, but they amounted to criminal offences. Where there is sufficient evidence and it is in the public interest to do so, the CPS will always prosecute these offences robustly. Now, some of the comments made in the group I can't repeat on the channel as I'm on a roll and I don't want another demonetised video, but some I can. Borders and Cobbon swapped what they claimed was banter, such as, "I can't wait to get on a gun so I can shoot some cunt in the face." Cobbon responded, "Me too. I want to taser a cat and a dog to see which reacts better. I think the cat will get more pissed off and the dog will shit. I really want to test this. I want to test this theory. Same with children. Zap zap, you little fucker." During the same exchange, Cobbon described racially diverse areas of London as a shithole, described a member of the public who asked him for directions as yellow, and remarked, "Not even the shops are in English." On the link in the description you can find an article that lists some of the conversation that I can't repeat on this report. The conversation is towards the bottom of that article. Now, although I do feel that free speech should be allowed and hate crimes including racism should only be classed as a crime if it's used to offend somebody, in which case it comes under public order. But of course hate crimes is literally like catnip to the police, so they're all over it, in some cases conjuring up victims out of thin air. When something is said in a private capacity without the intention of offending someone, then I think that's fair game. However, of course, free speech is a qualified right and can under law be stopped or prohibited, and I believe that in some cases the job that you hold should be a qualifier for that right. I mean, you wouldn't want a Dr. Hartman from Family Guy joking with you about an incurable disease or illness when he's telling you for the first time.
"So, Doctor, is Peter healthy?"
My goodness, you'll be dead within a month.
What?
Oh, Hagar the Horrible, if you keep up that lifestyle of pillaging and giant turkey legs, you'll be dead within a month. Now, on to you.
So, what do you think? Pretty healthy, eh?
Mr. Griffin, you're going to expire in a month. This is your driver's license, isn't it?
Will you just tell us how Peter's health is?
Mr. Griffin, I'm not quite sure how to say this. Kim Basinger? Basinger? But now, on to the cancer.
There's an element of ethics that must come into play as well, which I believe, as I say, should qualify some people's freedom of expression if it's going to offend or upset someone. I know some of you won't agree with that, but I can guarantee if you recently lost someone to, say, cancer, and I said to you, "Oh, you've lost someone, have you? Have you checked down the back of the sofa? That's where I find all my lost shit." You wouldn't be very happy about it. So in the case of the police, we don't want them thinking that it's okay to treat the public like shit and speak to the public like shit or offend them, as they so often already do, remembering that they are there to serve the public. We pay them, and in essence, we are their bosses. Or at least we should be, considering they allegedly can only police by consent, and giving them permission to police us seems very much like we're the boss in that respect. Anyway, 2 potential Wayne Couzens now off to spend 6 weeks in the slammer as...
Another one bites the dust.